Welcome to Find Your Fridays. It's me, Lorene. I'm here with you tonight. Yes, we are here in all of our indigo, violet glory. It's indigo violet, right? We're up here. We're doing the crown today. I hope that you're having a fabulous day. I hope that you have had just as calm a week as possible, because it was likely to be a bit of a rough one this week. Hi Tamara, hi Marit, how are you both? I'm so happy that you're here. I'm happy that you're here with me. Yay. I even chose a tea that was the most purpley, indigo-y, violet-y tea I could find, which was the plum and boysenberry. I thought that was a pretty good choice. I don't normally have fruity teas at this time, like with you guys, but here we go. It is what it is today. And on my lips, I have 2 different colors, 3 if you count the gloss, to try and get that kind of like deep purple, but a little bit of sparkle, but a little bit of this and a little bit of that, tried really hard. How have you all been? If you recall last week, the cards said to us, do a bit of chakra clearing. And of course, with the lovely full moon eclipse that happened on Tuesday night, for us here in the Southern Hemisphere, it was more Monday morning on the other end, or Tuesday morning on the other end of the world. What a perfect time to do some clearing and to encourage yourself to be a little bit more in your flow, checking in with yourself, your body, the magic of the universe. I know I absolutely loved it, and so grateful that I was able to get out there and see it, because so often here in South Australia, weirdly, it often works out that we have cloud cover on full moons. I don't understand why that happens, because we so often have very clear skies, and then all of a sudden a full moon comes around and boom, we have clouds. It's like, what? So it was quite the treat to have it as a cloudless sky. You could see the stars, you could see the moon with the eclipse. It was just stunning. Tamara said the eclipse was glorious. I may have done some meditation and some singing and dancing under the moon. I love that. Yes, I certainly did some meditation and watched as my neighbour snuck around the edge of my fence to go and grab a lemon, and not on my property. We have this weird gap in between the 2 properties. So that was quite funny. I was like, who the heck is going out there at this time of day? Stomping around. So that was a bit funny. Melinda said it was stunning. Hello, Melinda. Hello. So fabulous time to just really be present in that exact moment, which so often we don't. We will distract ourselves, won't we? And it's far too easy to distract ourselves these days. In the old days, it used to be you would have your head buried in a book, and that would, or if you were a guy, maybe in an engine that you were fixing. I know that's generalizing, but before the invention of TVs and then other technology, that was what it was. I remember growing up, and the ways we kept ourselves occupied or busy was doing things with our hands, like craft or jigsaw puzzles, or I'm thinking longer things that kept us entertained for a long time. So I guess human nature is to have those moments of distraction or just being present intensely with something. It's just that these days it's technology based rather than other things to do with the mind or the hands. So interesting times that we live in, that's for sure. I love all those smiley faces and stuff, Melinda. That's beautiful. Check this out. Oh, look at all those happy ones. Love it, love it, love it. And even this one. This is why we love Melinda, because she always gives us loads of things to smile about. Alrighty. What on earth are we going to have this week? There's a lot of upheaval in the world right now. Let's see. And even with all the upheaval in the world, what can we choose for us? I've been listening to an incredible book series, and I think I mentioned it to you guys a couple of weeks ago. I'm on to the second series of this particular author's books, and honestly, it's truth wrapped up in fiction. So it makes it more palatable. It makes people sort of think, right. And at the time when it was released back in 2022, the first series, I can definitely, oh, hello, Tanya. I can definitely see that people at that time would have gone, oh, no way would any of that come true. But sitting there in 2026, listening to this, I certainly can see a lot of what was written in that book was truth-telling. It was, or the book series, I should say, was truth-telling, and it was trying to give people the heads up that certain things will be changing, becoming very apparent with governments and the way that the food industry works and the healthcare industry, and very, very interesting to read. There were certainly times where the energy of it was incredibly heavy because it's dealing with some pretty full-on topics. And yet it's the fiction part of it, I guess fiction part of it is also talking about consciousness and people's awarenesses and consciousnesses growing and expanding and becoming, and particularly this next series is more about that too. Becoming aware and open of how the world works and the truth behind stuff. And it certainly made me think more deeply about certain things in my life. And I'll give you an example. So for the last, pretty much my whole entire life, I've been a lover of root vegetables. I love potatoes. I loved carrots. I love, all the stuff that grew in the ground. It felt good to my belly. It was one of the things that my ex-grandmother-in-law used to hassle me about. She used to say, if you ever got in trouble with the law, I'd tell them not to put you in jail. I'd tell them to deny you potatoes. And the funny thing is that since probably for the last 2 years, roughly, I have really not felt particularly drawn towards root vegetables. I don't feel like I'm missing them if I don't have them. And there's nothing there for that. And it wasn't until I was listening to the current book series from the same author that I went, oh, okay, I get it. Okay, I understand now why I'm not attracted to those vegetables. I've become very, hi Lisa, I've become much more sensitive to chemicals. And particularly chemicals that we put into our bodies, but also the chemicals that comes through our food. So the root vegetables, if it's grown on inland, which generally it is, right, root vegetables, any of the sprays, any of the pesticides or anything like that goes down into the soil, and then guess where it ends up? Inside the vegetables. And at least if something is growing on top of the land, there's a little bit of filtration through the root system before it gets to the fruit, right? Or vegetables or whatever is grown above land. But I've realized that leafy greens and stuff like that, even when the roots are their first line of defense, whereas fruit that's grown on a tree or up over a vine a long way away from the ground, my body's still fine with that. But my body is not hankering root vegetables at all. And I thought to myself, that's really interesting to have that awareness. And it was an awareness that kind of popped into my mind while listening to this book series. And I'm like, that makes a lot of sense, because the chemicals are going into the root vegetables. There is no defense between the root vegetable and those chemicals. And then it's going, as it's growing, it's absorbing more and more and more. And it's getting into our body system. You know, even if we cook it, it's still going into our system. So as I become more consciously aware, as I upgrade, as I, do all that sort of stuff, I find myself leaning further and further away from things that will cause my body to not be okay and be upset. Interesting. Now, could I change that by maybe growing my own vegetables? Perhaps. And then there's also the recognition that there's a massive communication network across the root systems that are in the ground. And the root system talks. They share nutrients. And if that's the case, what's to say that they don't share chemicals? And with that in mind, who's to say organic farmers are actually truly organic? Because if these root systems, I'm just talking hypothetically as such, I'm not a chemist, but my little brain goes, well, if we're sharing information across thousands of kilometers underground and you're sharing nutrients in the same way, who's to say the chemicals are not following the same way? So if you've got a plot of land that's previously or currently being surrounded by people spraying with various chemicals, and you are not, as an organic farmer, how are you going to stop it from going under the ground and into your crops? Just something to think about. So while I absolutely love the idea of, organic farming and not spraying chemicals and all of that sort of stuff, listen to your body. If your body is upset by something that you've eaten, it might be the chemicals being sprayed on the food. So, for example, back in Christmas time, Tanya's just mentioned about, the strawberry farm up her way. We went there over at Christmas time, and I had some strawberries, and I got very unwell. Not the next day, but it was that 24 to 48 hours afterwards. I was quite unwell. And, hugged the toilet quite a lot. It was fun. And partly that was my fault for not using my amazing Kangen machine to wash my fruit. That was part of my fault. But also, I was eating the fruit straight at the farm. And my body is very, very sensitive to chemicals now, like as in those sorts of chemicals. Yet for work, I use chemicals and my body is okay with them. So it's interesting. It's just certain things that my body is like upset with. Tanya says there is a difference from GMO to certified organic too. Just what you said, it's true. I worked for Simplot, the biggest food grower, for many years. Thank you. Thank you for confirming my thoughts. Yeah, and all of that is sort of just plopped into my brains over this week, and I've kind of gone, huh, right, yay. They really are trying to, mess with our bodies inside and out. And don't even get me started on processed food. So we're not even going to go there today. But in saying that, you just got to do the best you can with what you got, right? Sorry. Yeah. It's an interesting old life, this life that we live. Alrighty. That's enough about all of that. We're here to have some nice fun time. Going to have the weekly reading for the collective from the 7th to the 13th of March. I'm not even going to talk about the stuff over in the other countries. Like, not even going to go there today. I have had a philosophy for a very long time that before we start, really, picking on or looking at other people's ways of doing things, we've got to look at our own backyard first. We've got to take care of our own. And I've had that belief for a long, 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 long time. So when people say to me, okay, for example, you see all the people out there trying to do like save the children and all of that sort of stuff. Wonderful cause. They do a lot of good. And when they start sort of trying to really hassle me, hi Bianca, when they really start trying to hassle me, I'll go, okay, so what have you done recently to help the people here? What have you done to help the people, the homeless people here? And quite often they'll go, I'm like, okay. So until you actually help some homeless people here and actually help them get their washing done, help them get some food, dish them up their food at the food places, or go and do voluntary at the food bank or whatever. Homeless shelters always require volunteers to help. Until you've done some of that, I don't want to talk to you. And they're like, oh, okay. So with that in mind, that's why I have this show. And that has been my main focus for the last more than 4 years, is I wish to create a way for me to connect with others, to share information, to enhance consciousness, support people in their growth journey, and to make them feel like they're not so alone. Because I know when I started my journey and I started having all these weird things happen, and I started talking to spirits and, all this very, very strange stuff going on, I had zero support, and it was scary. And so I didn't wish for anybody else to feel like that if I could possibly help it. And that's why I'm here. That's why I rock up most Friday nights, except for if I'm going through an upgrade or something like that's going on. And other than that, I'm here. I'm here with you guys. And also so that you guys could be here with each other, so that you guys could support each other across the world. Because we have people tuning in from Australia, from New Zealand, from America, from very occasionally Canada, but it's a bit late for Canada. We've got Marit. Where are you from again? Is it Sweden? So you're across the world, and that's bonkers to me, but it's still so amazing. So amazing that you guys are all coming together. And like you can feel each other, you can perceive each other's energies, and that to me is just, that's gold. That's gold. And of course I love doing the readings and the healings and meditations and things like that too. And again, the meditations are free because I know how much value they give me. And then when I get to give them to you, it's like, yay. It makes me feel very happy. Wow. We have an interesting week. I say that every week, don't I? All right, so it's the 7th through to the 13th. Ooh, next Friday is Friday the 13th. Do you have any weird things about Friday the 13th? I don't. I think it's just a fine day. So over this next week, we don't have any eclipses. Things that are in retrograde are going to be retrograde. Things that are direct are going to be staying direct. We don't have any full moons or new moons over this next week, so it's kind of a little bit calmer, sort of. So this last week may have seen you being a little bit more quiet. It may have seen you being a little bit more reserved. It may have been seeing you listening more, observing more, and maybe dancing underneath the full moon eclipse, which is beautiful. This week, for the collective, our first card is Spread Your Wings. And it is do not hold back right now. The timing is perfect. You are ready to soar. So given that we are now in the full moon phase, that makes sense. All right. So leading up to the full moon, it's kind of like you're the slingshot. You're being pulled back, back, back. And then once you hit the full moon, it's like, poof, away you go. So definitely that absolutely makes sense. The bright white of the wings is also a very good indication of that too, that beautiful bright white light of the full moon. And so, yeah, get out there, do that thing. If you've been holding off making a decision or moving forward on something, this is definitely the week to do it at the moment. Okay, so if you've just sort of been waiting for the right timing, the timing is good now. Okay. This next one, beloved one. So for you who are in relationships out there, this week is also going to be about connecting in, making sure that your most precious person or people in your life feel loved and adored by you and that they know it. For those of you who are single, there might be some strengthening to your most precious or most soul aligned person coming into your life. Might be a bit of strengthening along those pathways this week. So interesting. It does say I'm helping you with your spiritual soulmate relationship. Okay. Now, of course, if you feel like you've got a soul family member, so I've got 2 soul sisters, right? And those beautiful beings, and sorry, I just had a realization about something. Those 2 beautiful beings are people that I connect deeply with. And sorry. This is my team telling me about someone else who has come into my friendship circles over the last couple of years, and it's actually a male, and I'm like, are we though? They're like, stop it. So we were just having ourselves a little argument there. So that's why the pause and the laughing and stuff. Anyway, so a spiritual soulmate relationship. You don't always have to agree with your team. Yes. So as I was saying, soulmate relationships can also be friendships, people who you feel really, really close to. And again, reach out to them this week. If you don't reach out to them often, reach out, connect in, and enjoy their company for a bit. Now, towards the end of the week to come, the next two cards are very interesting. We've got Take Back Your Power. Use your God-given power and intention to manifest blessings in your life. Okay, so how are you using your words? Are you using your words to enhance your life, or are you using your words to degrade your life, to make it less than? I've had to, call a couple of people out recently for making themselves seem less than. And it's like, what are you doing? Stop that. Stop that. Stop using your words against you. Every time you say, and you make a decision, or you are trying to preempt somebody else turning you down or making a decision about your career or your job or anything like that, that's what they're going to respond to. So that's what you're going to manifest into your life. And so it's like, stop that shit. Stop it. Stop. Come back to your heart and realize how freaking valuable you are. One of the most enlightening ways that I saw this coming through was back in my Access Consciousness days, when I was hired to be a VA, a virtual administrator, or a virtual assistant, virtual administration, for this lady who had a reasonable sized team. She lived in America. And the most fascinating thing was there were certain times where she would hire someone, not so much for the skills that they brought to the team, but the energy, the kind of like a pep up person, a person that would just gently kind of encourage people along, like a mentor or a guidance type person. And so when you look at their, KP, key performance indicators, KPIs, it would be difficult to calculate what that is in their role. If you've got a salesperson, that's easy. How many things did you sell this week or this month, right? But when you've got somebody who's literally the motivator or the pep upper person or the person who people connect in with, kind of like HR, I guess, but it's not, right? That's a very interesting position to create and to have within your team. This Take Back Your Power is an indicator of wherever you are negating the gift that you be with your literal energy and presence to other people. The difference between a good salesperson and a crappy salesperson is their energy and presence. Both salespeople can have exactly the same information, but if you don't have that presence and the energy and the enthusiasm to go along with it, it's not going to work. You're not going to get the sales, right? And that's true in all sorts of areas in life. So just interesting, right? Sweden. I thought so, Marit was in Sweden. Thank you for reminding me. So take back your power. Remember how bloody magical you are, right? That's Lorene's orders from Find You Friday and Crafting Possibilities. Be magical. And if things are not quite going as quickly as you like, or if things are not going as smoothly as you like, divine order. Remember that. I watched an incredible video from Eckhart Tolle this week. It was a 12-minute video. It was talking about, the title was like, why do some people wake up or become aware or whatever it is, and other people don't? And basically, he was saying how, I'll put it into a really short synopsis. He was saying how we have challenges in our life, and those challenges are there to help us grow. The people who don't wake up, who don't, become aware or advance, are the ones who are not using those challenges to help them grow. They are staying stuck in that same little cycle, and they keep bouncing. It's not until they actually go past that moment of challenge that they suddenly go, oh, wow, okay, I get it now. I see the golden lining there, or the silver lining there. Wow. And this is all about divine order as well. So perhaps this week, here's a little journaling challenge for you, or a journal prompt, I should say. What challenges have you got in your life right now, or in your past with maybe family or something like that? It always brings a lot. If you were to look at the challenge as a way to help you grow, what have you learned from that challenge? Okay. So, for example, when I was growing up, super big-hearted, open, beautiful little being that I was, walking through the world, trying to help everybody and make everybody feel good, right? Because peace and ease is my life purpose. That's what I'm here to do. But then I wasn't receiving the love that, and the softness, okay, I'm going to put it this way, the softness, the cuddles, the I love yous and things like that from my mum. My dad was out of the picture, and my mum was my sole parent, and I wasn't receiving any of that. I would try to receive it from her, but she's like, no. And so I used to get very upset by that. I would have conversations with her about that. I would have, at various times over the years, right up until I was about 40. And then something happened, and by this stage, I'd moved to Australia, and there'd been some other kind of, and it wasn't until I was doing my diploma in holistic counselling that I started to comprehend why my mother was the way she was with me. The challenge of not being loved in the way that I wished to be loved by my mum encouraged me to leave New Zealand. It gave me the freedom to leave New Zealand and create a new life for myself here in Australia. It gave me the freedom to be able to connect with all of you. It gave me the freedom to be able to have amazing life experiences here and across the world. If I had have received the affection, the love that I was craving when I was young, I never would have left my small rural country town. I never would have left, because I would have been too comfortable. So my mother, in being the way that she was with me, gave me a massive gift. And because of that massive gift, I was able to lean into things like my spiritual awakening. I was able to lean into my gifts, and I was able to explore different industries and to work, just normal stuff. I wouldn't be where I am now if my mum had loved me with that soft gentleness. I wouldn't be where I am now. And not to say that that other way would have been a bad life at all. It's just it wasn't the life for me. So I'm grateful. Grateful now that I'm inching towards 48. So that is your challenge this week. Thank you. That is your challenge. Have a look at the things that you perceive as challenges and see, what is the gift here? What has it given you that if that challenge hadn't been there, you wouldn't be where you are now. Strong, resilient. For me, it's about finally comprehending what true peace is, what calmness truly is, what being embodied in my body truly is. Pretty amazing stuff, really. Interesting. And our yummy card is support. So again, it's reaching out to your loved ones. And if you do feel like those last couple of cards are hard for you, and you feel like you don't know the answer to something, or you don't really know how to proceed, you're unsure, reach out to somebody who does, who might know, who can mentor you, who can give you that little piece of advice. Like I was just somebody, one of my friends reached out to me just before I was coming on the show tonight to ask me about woodworking tips, because they're a metalworking person. So woodworking is not their strength, and they're starting to get into it. So they were asking me for some hints and tips. And I'm like, yeah, okay, blah, 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 blah. There you go. They asked for some support. It doesn't have to be about earth-shattering stuff. It can be just little things too. All right, so that is the weekly reading. Spread your wings, connecting with those that you love. Make sure that you're taking your power back and realizing just how freaking magical and how much of an important part you play in this world collective thing. And also remember, if things aren't working out as well as you would like them to, there's probably a reason for that. There's a divine order to things. And, like, I think about that sort of thing when I'm driving along and it's rush hour traffic and I go, oh, I really should have left a little bit earlier or whatever. But when I'm listening to my body, when my body tells me to leave, even if there's car crashes or anything like that, I always seem to get there around the right time anyway. So it's okay. Everything is in divine order. Interesting. Lots of blue. So there we go. Marit says, I listened to you doing my chores, not texting so much, 1 hour prior to midday here in Sweden. Oh, well, there you go. So there we go. Alrighty, Tamara. Thank you for putting in your donation, my love. If you would like to pop your question up, that would be really amazing. Interesting. Sorry, that was a bit noisy. Do apologise. So Marat also said, you mentioned about pollution. One pollution is the mobile phone and the people. At least where I live, picking it up 200 times per day, the mind is occupied in a world which does not exist. Very, very true. It's not unique to your country, unfortunately. It's a lovely, lovely way of keeping us distracted. Trying to remember, when did I start colouring that in? I was working with my anatomy book, and I started colouring it in, and I discovered that colouring in my anatomy book, oh, I love it. It's great because I feel a little bit naughty for colouring in a textbook, but at the same time, I feel fabulous for hopefully retaining some of the information in the body names or the parts of the body and stuff like that. I didn't bring the book down, so I might go and grab that in a moment if you guys are interested in which book that was. But yeah, it's super good. Super good. Tamara, your team are very calm today. That's nice. That's nice. Nice to have them just kind of like, hi there. Nice to see you again. All right. Which one first? These ones, okay. Yeah, you've obviously been doing plenty of work with them, like as in just tuning in a little bit more so over this last week or so. Just lovely. At least they don't yell in my ears anymore. That's nice. Do you ever have people's teams yelling in your ears? And it's like they come in and then you're like, oh, Chambers. It's just like, just, okay, dial it down just a little bit, please. That would be lovely. Because I've definitely had that. So that's just a heads up for you all. If you don't connect in with your spirit team very often, and and you're not really allowing them to communicate with you, when you have somebody like me come into your world and communicating for them to you, it's like they get really, really, really super excited, and they're like, they just kind of, it's almost like the energy of a 5-year-old going, oh, and this, oh, and can you tell them this, and and it's like, whoa, take a breath. I can't grasp that much energy and information all at once. And because it's not like it's just one person, it's many members of your team. So do us all a favor and connect in with your spirit teams a little bit more often. That's a message for everybody. Tamara said she had an in-person mediumship reading done this morning. Fantastic. That'll be why they're so chilled. That's lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So the cards, you've got 2 different decks that have come out. One from one deck and this one, which is the Great Eastern Oracle. We love this this particular deck. And we have the first card is, oh, I love that. All right. So if I hold it up here, you can really see that image, right? Focus on your blessings. Adjust your taste to what you deserve. Interesting. A thankful person is thankful under all circumstances. A complaining soul complains even in paradise. Baha'u'llah. Baha'u'llah. I don't know how to say that person's name properly. I'm sorry. Expression. Imagine you're on a pilgrimage of your soul. You are celebrating a joyful event, and kindred spirits and angels surround you in the festivity. You are in a place where there are no wrong turns. Blessings shower you from above. This is the gift of life that you are meant to receive. Your happiness is determined by the way you relate your condition to what you imagine it to be. The reflection. Wake up and open your eyes to the generosities that are your right. Know that you have total capacity to deal with every adventure or misadventure that comes along the way. Your contentment in life is achieved when you can turn routine works into joyful plays and change ordinary opportunities into blessings. If you cannot alter the things that you don't like, it is better to adjust your notion about what you deserve. This oracle guides you to recognize that the road to thankfulness lies in the flow of your soul. The more you focus on your blessings, the more likely you are to find yourself on the receiving end of the generosity and the benevolence of the universe. Sit quietly in peaceful surroundings and wisely assess your conception of what you ought to have. You will get more happiness from an hour of contemplation than you can get from a long period of laboring to increase your possessions or improve your environment. The mantra for this one: I am thankful for all the gifts I have received and do not complain about what I don't have. How interesting. So one of the things that I have explored and got reminded of as I was reading this card was, when we do the dishes, it's a task. It's one that a lot of people don't really enjoy. Some people will avoid it so much that they will literally get extra sets of plates so they don't have to do the dishes as often. I've seen it. And in the meantime, the dirty plates are sitting there getting worse and worse. Anywho, when you're doing the dishes, I know I used to do this as a kid. I used to play with the bubbles. I never used to like doing dishes either. But I would love that moment of playing with the bubbles. And I would make that fun. So the dishes would still get done. And as an adult, I still do that. I try to make those jobs that are not so fun around the house, the things that you've got to do to keep a business running or whatever, those life administration type tasks. I try to make them as fun as possible. So I do things like I'll listen to music. Sometimes I'll sing, I'll dance, I'll move around the house. I'll give myself little challenges and say, all right, I've got X amount of time to get this done. And then like a time challenge, right? And then it's like, oh, okay, if you get that done, then there's a reward at the end of that. And it might be, okay, you can watch an episode of something that you enjoy watching, or you can go and play and color in some more of your book, or whatever it might be. So have a look at what is in your life that's causing you irritation, that you can then turn into something fun and then be grateful for it. Okay. That's card number one. Ooh, yay. Okay, we've got the next card here. Let's see if I can get that out. Okay, that's a good angle. Golden path to your reality. Look for the benefits in the impossible. Don't sacrifice your own welfare for that of another, no matter how great. Realizing your own true welfare, be intent on just that. Gautama Buddha. Expression. Picture yourself walking alone in a barren desert. All you see around you is nothing but mirage. At some point, you are startled and suddenly become aware of a guiding light inviting you to step in. A similar light is hidden inside you. It is a divine gift that longs to develop your deeper vision for life. That unique gift is called imagination. This light is eager to take you out of confusion and guide you to new opportunities and discovery of who you were created to be. Reflection. Buddha's message comes across centuries to help you recreate yourself. Your imagination is a light that reveals so much. Use it to enhance your creative power. You are endowed with a remarkable ability to build your dream life. Use your ideas and thoughts to inspire your mind and overcome the intrusion of limiting fears and concerns. Free yourself from obsessive and dreary thoughts that are not leading you anywhere. When your mind is free, your imagination becomes the treasure map for discovering new ways of living your ideal reality. Perhaps you have not paid much attention to the possibility of living a life enriched with imagination. By cultivating your mind and paying careful attention to it, you'll be able to discern new potentials and opportunities. Listen to the truth that dwells within you and develop a relationship with your deepest self. From this perspective, you can tap into the energy of creation that flows through you. Be open to exploring how you can express this energy in a way that is natural to you. When you find a way to engage with life creatively, you will discover that your world is rich with possibility. Creative living opens up your environment so that many resources become available to you. When this happens, you will see beauty in your surroundings and yourself. Soon your world will begin to fill with peace and harmony. Your mantra for this card. My imagination guides me to discover new directions and possibilities. I harness my potential for living a more creative life. Okay. So when you do your next meditation, your next self-guided meditation, imagine that you're on that golden path and see what stuff pops up for you. What is your inner light trying to show you that you are not allowing yourself to be aware of? Perhaps you are today. So definitely this month is saying be grateful, dive into your imagination, get creative. That's what we're seeing so far. Okay. Sorry, I just know what cards are coming up. And I'm like, all right. So this is the next card. And it is cherish every moment. Let spirit carry you forward. This worldly life is like a shadow. If you try to catch it, you will never be able to do so. If you turn your head back towards it, it has no choice but to follow you. Ibn Kuan Yin. Expression. You are here on earth to live in heaven now, not after you die. To live in heaven is to willingly surrender to the present rather than spending your time thinking about or grieving the past or worrying about what might be in the future. Your quality of life is determined by how positive and optimistic you are at any time. Living in the moment means utilizing all of your senses and staying in the experience of how that feels. Reflection. A soft voice is reminding you that all you have longed for is here with you now. Embrace the present, savor every breath, and use your energy to enjoy whatever you're doing in each moment. Be the beauty that you are. Let joy help you change into an expanding universe. Happily surrender your marvelous aliveness and let the sun anoint you with its light. Dear one, you owe it to yourself to live to the fullest and to make every moment count, and do it now. Focusing on the past concerns shuts off your creative power. By being spontaneous, you will become more confident in who you truly are. This will heighten your self-esteem and make you more open to the truth. Your relationships will be more satisfying because you will not fall into negativity and arguments so easily. Mantra, starting now. I am more spontaneous and live to the fullest by making every moment count. So true. Any moment over this month where you feel like you're in the humdrum, that good old saying of same shit, different day, that's a really, really, really good indication to get up and do something. Just be spontaneous and go do something. Doesn't have to cost a lot of money, but it's like either get out, go for a walk, go for a walk in a different part of the neighborhood that you wouldn't normally, or hop in the car and go to a different area that you wouldn't normally. Go to a park, have a look on your maps and see, oh, well, there's a park I haven't visited. I'd like to go there. It's one of the reasons why I really enjoyed, geocaching, because that's exactly what that would do. It would take me to all sorts of places I've never visited before. And sometimes I'd find them, sometimes I wouldn't. But often what I would find is a really cool little spot that I'd not seen before. Spontaneous, right? And there's also that nice little moment of reminding you to be very aware of where you might be falling into negativity and argument. So, for example, I was working with a 10-year-old child today, and one of the things that came out was they come home from school. There's a lot of big energies at school. They're 10. And I said, so what happens when you get home? And they said, oh, I might sit down and watch TV, or sit down and read a book, do a colouring book or something like that. And I was like, okay, but do you go out in the backyard and kick the ball around or anything like that? Oh, no, not really. I said, so how do you get your big emotions out? They're like, I don't know. I said, is there maybe a chance that you might kind of take them out on your mum by being a little bit argumentative and stuff? He goes, I think so. And that to me just screams this child has to move his body between school and home. It's kind of like if you've got a pet dog, if you have a dog, right, and the dog has been cooped up inside all day, what does it wish to do? Get out and go for a run, right? We as people are exactly the same. We have to move our body. So be spontaneous, get out, move your body, or otherwise, Much like a dog who doesn't get out to exercise enough, it'll rip up your furniture. We do it, not quite ripping up our furniture, but we'll rip up each other's lives instead in our relationships. Because we're awesome. Ooh. All right. So before I keep going with this reading, those first 3 cards are giving you all the tools and tips on how to be able to tackle this next card with a lot more ease. Okay. And it's also reminding you of how to stay present in the now, to not get caught up in the stuff of the past, even grief and sadness, because that was something else that was coming through on one of those cards, was the grief and stuff around your mum. There's a little bit of that floating around for the rest of the month, apparently, just a little sprinkle in there. Not to say that you can't remember her, but it's more about just be really super present and then allow that emotion to go through, use the 90-second technique, and then keep moving forward. Okay. And also to remember to focus on your blessings. Yeah. Okay. So with that being said, we're up to this card. Fortune of perseverance. Don't freeze on the riverbank. Flow with whatever may happen and let your mind be free. Stay centered by accepting whatever you are doing. This is the ultimate. I think it's Zhongzi. I apologize. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your name. Anyway. Expression. Imagine that you are a drop of water flowing in a river called life. When you are in the middle of the river, you flow faster and have more power, and you know your ability to create your path. You may be blocked from reaching the middle of the river by the attachments you put in your way. As those attachments increase, your flow slows until life becomes cold and weary. Then joy and excitement decline, and you begin to freeze on the edge of the riverbank. Being in the middle of the flow does not mean losing what you have. When you are not attached to what you already have, you will be so much lighter so that you can flow more freely. Reflection. If you feel you are not getting where you want to be, and you might be sabotaging your success, this oracle guides you to step outside your comfort zone and generate the change necessary to achieve your goals. You don't need to take major risks. Begin by taking small risks so that you are propelled in the right direction. Be unafraid of failure, focus on important tasks, and rely on what you have the power to do rather than counting on others. Avoid being frozen in fear by having confidence in yourself. Persevere until you reach the center of the flow in your life. When seeking a goal, your experience teaches you step by step through the mistakes you make. Remember those challenges that I was talking about before and how they help you to grow? That's what this is talking about. Your uniqueness and creative power are revealed. Perseverance provides you with the power to face whatever comes your way and to patiently wait for the appropriate moment to take action. As you faithfully follow through, new ways will open and you will be guided towards many opportunities and blessings beyond your dreams. The mantra: I persevere and live with trust, patience, determination, tender affection, and the intention to be in the flow. So be it. Yes, please. All right. So this month, sorry, there's still one card to come. This month, it's not saying you're not going to have challenges. That last card refers to that, right? However, if you are sitting in gratitude and being thankful for the things that are in your life, including the challenges. That's why I say the good, the bad, the ugly, and the awesome, right? I don't just say the good, the bad, the ugly. I say, and the awesome, because there is so much awesomeness in our worlds too. If you use all of that, you dive into your creativeness, get into Canva and create something new in Canva or on a piece of paper or whatever it might be. Move your body, dance, sing. Cherish those moments when you talk to your friends or whatever on the phone, or if you get to catch up with them in person. Make sure they jolly well know how much you appreciate them. Tell them you love them. Okay, that's what this month is really going to be about for you. So that when it's almost like filling up your cup, so that when those challenges come up and where you're having to stretch a little bit beyond and, get into that uncomfortable space, you've got so much good, like lovely, uplifting, glorious energy sitting within you and around you that you just go, you know what, even though this is hard, I'm going to do it anyway. Even though this makes me feel really like I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to put that offering out into the world. I'm going to, that's it. I'm making the choice. That's what this month is about for you. Enjoy your time so that then you've got loads and loads of good energy sitting behind you. Not that the energy is good or bad, it just is. But you've got loads of that uplifting energy to give you the confidence to do what you've got to do. To grow, change, expand, be vulnerable, all that stuff, okay? All right, here's the card that I've been giggling about. Play. Chasing lightning through the clouds, dancing and zipping back and forth while storm winds blow her to and fro. This air dragon is having the time of her life. She's making an appearance to ask you to do the same. Take a break and have a good time. No matter how difficult your life might get and how little time you might have, you must schedule some fun into your day or week. Playtime is just as important as the time you spend working. It's self-care, decompression, and just plain fun. Balancing work and play will benefit your mental health. Make sure that you make time to dance, sing, and chase some storms. So with this one, it's also reminding me with the storms when I was doing OSH and I'd have to go and pick up the kids from school and it'd be raining and I had them in the van and I knew that the roads were reasonably safe to do so. I'd go and splash in the puddles. I'd drive the van along on the side of the road and they'd splash up in the gutters. The kids loved it. I loved it. It was a bit of play, right? And it's one of those things of it was clean fun as such because the kids were inside the van and I was inside the van, but it was lots of fun. The kids loved the sound and the water splashing out and, it was a good time before we got into the seriousness of homework. So then the kids would be hardcore looking out for the next puddle for me to go through. Play. It's good for your mental health. It's also good for your chakra health, your physical health. Your yummy card. Generosity. What an interesting word. I'd be curious to know what generosity means to you. What I hear from that is generosity of spirit, but it's also generosity to yourself for fun. Generosity of fun in your world this month. Okay, so I kind of get that you probably like to schedule things a little bit. So schedule in some fun, schedule in some playtime. Even if that means, like, obviously the other cards we're talking about spontaneity. Sometimes it's hard for, people who have been in survival mode for a really long time to actually work spontaneously. So having something to look forward to that you can, it's just like a little way away, even a day or two away, is like, oh, actually, yay, I can feel that. That feels like fun. All right, so generosity of fun. How much more generously can you sprinkle fun throughout your weeks to the end of March? Interesting. Thank you so much, Tamara, for your continued support. I absolutely adore you. Thank you so, so much for bringing these two card decks together, because that's super fun. I love it. I appreciate you very, very much. Okay, okay. Thank you. Lovely. Let's have a cup of tea. So on that note, how do you bring fun into your world? What do you do for fun? Tell me. Because as adults, we can get a little bit like stuck in a rut. Sometimes we can get a little bit like same shit, different day. I used to get really irritated when there was somebody I used to be friends with would say that to me. I'm like, surely not. You've got a toddler. There is no way it's the same shit, different day. Like, kids are the most wonderful thing for changing stuff up, And even one of my current friends sometimes says it, and I'm like, I don't believe you. Tell me what's going on. And that's when it all starts bubbling out. And they tell me what's going on, and I'm like, oh, yay. See, you have got stuff going on, and it's fun. So I'd love to know, what do you guys do for fun? What do you guys do that's interesting and changes the energy and takes you out of that same shit, different day mantra in your world? For me, what do I do? I look for stuff to do around my house. So you won't really hear me saying that ever. Even in my job, I will almost never do a house exactly the same way every single time. It will be, I will often have like the core stuff that will get done, and then I'll mix it up and I'll do something different. I'll add something, take something away, something that might be a once a month thing or once every 6 months thing. So yeah, when I'm at home, for example, I'm like, I wonder what I could do. So here's something creative that I'm looking at getting into, which I'm really excited, because I'm actually going to go after the show and go and pick up my parcel at the post office, because I have a PO box, and it is embroidery. So I'm going to learn how to do more embroidery stitches. I do know a couple of really basic ones. Like, I know how to do French knots, and I know the mechanics of doing like a, I don't know what it's called. Might be a daisy stitch, I think. But yeah, I'm looking at doing that. And it's for a specific project for my craft class people. And maybe a few others, we'll see. But I have like this little plan in my head. And I've also got a jigsaw puzzle that I need to do that's round. And then I've got a piece of wood that is also round. And I would really love to put this jigsaw puzzle onto that piece of wood after I finish the jigsaw puzzle, glue it on, chuck a resin over the top of it to make it really, really strong and durable, and turn it into a table. That's another craft project that I have up in my brain that is, ready to get going. Now that the temperature is starting to drop down, I can start getting into these sorts of things. So that's just two things. I've got another craft project that is probably 1/3 done. That is, it's creating the cards for my poetry book. So that's a project that's been on the go for a few years now, and it is starting to call me again. I didn't have a lot of space to do it in my previous home, and even the one before that, I didn't really have the mental space, physical space to do it. So now that I have both the mental space and the physical space to start diving into that, I'll be able to start doing that too. And now that the weather's starting to cool a little bit, I'll be able to be in that side of the house, and it'll be nice and calm and cool and plenty of sunlight for me to do my creations. So here we go. There's 3 for you. Three things that I can bring into fun. This makeup stuff that I get to do for you guys every Friday night, that's part of my fun. That's the way I be creative, So I love it. So fun. So tell me in the comments below, what ways do you bring creativeness into your world? Fun into your world? Do you love to travel? Do you, what do you love to do? I don't know. Do you like to go shopping? Do you like trying on different outfits and doing the fashion thing? I don't love shopping so much. That's not my jam. It's okay if I've got somebody to float around with, but I'm not really a shopping person. I love creating. I love doing things with my little handos. All right. So, talking about poetry book, we are going to do the expanding out tool now. And thank you, Lisa, for saying that sounds lovely. It is. I enjoy having the space to do the things I love to do. I like being creative. I find summer to sometimes be my hardest month, because being creative in summer for me is much more difficult, because your hands are sweaty, and then it's like But one thing I did do this summer was I marinated my own olives. So that was one thing I did do over the sort of December, early January time. Lisa says, I love to go outside with our new puppy, ground myself and help him burn off some energy. Yes, I love that. This weekend, I'm going to be getting out into my garden and trimming back my pomegranate bush, which has absolutely exploded with green growth, thanks to all that lovely rain we got last week. And I'm so grateful for it. But the problem is it's now inching way over my mint, and I've got 3 pots of mint, and 2 of the mints are still pretty new, and it's starting to get a little bit too much over the mint pots, and so they're getting a bit smothered. So just wish to give them a bit more breathing room. And my other mint that's already well established, my chocolate mint, needs a really good prune back, so I can dry off those leaves, and they will be lovely in some tea. So it's a really interesting mint, that one. It's got like it says, it's a chocolate mint, but it's mint with just a bit of hint of chocolate, and then it floats backwards and forwards between mint and chocolate in your mouth. And it's really quite refreshing with desserts. Like if you have just a leaf with something sweet, it's like, oh, that's kind of quite nice. It's a very nice flavor combination. All right, poetry book time. So, the way, if you're new here and you don't know about this lovely book, this is my book. I wrote this book. It says by Lorene Hughes right at the bottom here. And it is my picture on the back. Yeah, that's me. Yay! When I had long dark hair instead of all this lovely sparkles shining. And this is basically a compilation of 25 years worth of my poetry. And I didn't know it at the time, but it actually is an intuitive poetry book. And it is an incredible gift that I didn't know I was writing all those years. And the cool thing about it is that it shows you the way that we work with this book is that it shows you how you can tune in to your awareness of what's in this book, even if you've never even touched it. It is a really beautiful example of how the collective consciousness works. So this has its own consciousness. It has its own entity even. If you look really carefully, and if I angle it this way, there's a lady in the cover. She has her big, huge hat here. She thinks sort of Victorian times. She has quite a tight bodice through here. She's got her big puffy sleeves there and coming down here. And then she's got her big skirt, like lots of, petticoats and hoops and things all happening there. So that's the entity of the book. And all this information that is in this book is up in the collective consciousness. And so when you choose the number that correlates to one of these poems, you're literally tapping into the collective consciousness, which is then going plop and it's going plop back into your head. Okay, so that's how it works. It's really, really fucking cool and a little bit creepy sometimes, especially if I'm playing with this with people I don't know. So yeah, Joel, who is currently with his wife, and they are exploring Australia. How wonderful is that? They're currently in Canberra. Excellent. I don't have good memories of Canberra. I have good but not so good memories of Canberra. But I do know of other people that really enjoy traveling over that way. So they have family there. So yeah, wow, that's really cool, man. Well done. Travel. Looking forward to doing more travel. All right. So if you can, safely, close your eyes. Take a big deep breath in, into your belly. Breathing out. Taking another big deep breath into your belly. Bringing Mother Earth energy all the way up through your body. When you breathe out, bring Father Sky energy all the way down. As you breathe in, bring Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up. And as you breathe out, bring Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down your body. Now we're going to do the expanding out tool. Take a big deep breath in. And as you breathe in, become aware of your body. Keep breathing nice and low and deep. As you become aware of your body, become aware of your cells and molecules. Become aware of your bones and your muscles and your blood. All of your organs. And now become aware of the air around you. Become aware of how your body is sitting. And now expanding out your awareness in a big bubble up into the sky and down into the earth. Expanding out your awareness greater than the country that you're on. Expanding out your awareness greater than the planet. Expanding out your awareness greater than the solar system. Expanding out your awareness greater than the galaxies. Greater than the universes. And a little bit further than that. Beautiful. Keep your awareness nice and expanded out. Focusing on your body once more. Grab your sense of allowance. Your sense of allowance is what takes you from being the tight, contracted little pebble at the bottom of a raging river of everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, where you feel at the effect of or battered around by everybody else's stuff, and turns you more into like a big fluffy cloud. And that fluffy cloud can see that raging river of everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions for exactly what it is. It's just energy. And you can either choose to go along with that and add to it, play in it, or you can choose to keep floating on by and just being present with you and what's around you and feeling grateful. Lovely. Now that you get the concept, focusing on your body, expanding out your allowance greater than your body in a big bubble with you in the center, expanding out your allowance up into the sky, down into the earth. Expanding out your allowance greater than the country that you're on, greater than the planet. Expanding out your allowance greater than the solar system, greater than the galaxies, greater than the universes, and now beyond your awareness. So expand out your allowance beyond your awareness. Take a big deep breath in and just feel how different your body feels now. Your shoulders more relaxed, your belly has relaxed. All that lovely deep breathing has told your body and your brain that you're not in danger, that it's okay, you're safe and you're calm. Beautiful. Now, the question that I have for you today is truth. What card between 1 and 88 and inclusive of 1 and 88 is going to be the greatest contribution for your week to come? The first number that pops into your head, please put that into the chat now. Beautiful. Nettie. 30 for you. And welcome. The gift. We are alone, just you and I, basking in the warmth of our love. Holding each other tight, wishing this moment could last forever. I look into your eyes and find them a treasure, which I can never find anywhere else. This treasure is called love, and it's just for me. So, Nettie, what I was getting with this particular poem for you is wherever the love is in your world, really be present with it this week. Okay? If you have a partner, be really present with them this week and show them how much you really appreciate them and just enjoy the moments, the sweet moments. Try not to think too hard about where things are going in the future and all that sort of stuff. Be present in the now. If you're out with your friends, again, be present in the now. Put your phone aside, just be present. And especially with your partner or whatever, do the same. Put your phone down. And the big thing here was like, when we first are with someone and it's like, oh, nothing else matters. The world, like time doesn't matter, the bills don't matter, nothing else matters. Like the loving squishiness that we have together, that's what feels great, right? And that's the only thing that really matters. So that level of presence is what's really important this week for you. Okay, so pay close attention to where you might be moving away from that nice, loving kind of energy and where you might be diving into other energies that are not so lovely. So that's your mission for this week. Enjoy. Thank you for coming here to play. I appreciate it very much. Joe, you chose 56. Okie dokie. You are the love of my life and my rock. You are the one who makes me laugh even when I am crying. You are the one that I trust when everyone else is against me. You are my heart. You are my companion. You are my soul, and I love you. So you're welcome, Nettie. I hope you have a beautiful day too. So Joel, make sure that you tell your wife these things. Make sure that she damn well knows all that stuff. But equally, make sure that you are telling yourself these things too. Be your own best friend. And don't allow any of that self-doubt or self-deprecation or anything like that, even to be funny. It's not funny. And so that's like, be that soft, gentle vulnerability, not only with your beautiful wife, but also with yourself. Okay? And that's your mission for this week. Enjoy. And thank you for popping in and coming to play. And have fun with your trip. Sounds like cool. Okay, Melinda. Oh, you also chose 56. So I'm going to read it again. Because quite often, shit changes. You are the love of my life and my rock. You are the one who makes me laugh when I am crying. You are the one that I trust when everyone else is against me. You are my heart, you are my companion, you are my soul, and I love you. For you, my dear, I have to read the blurb that sits underneath. The neediness of that time is so obvious to me now. The ache to be loved and cared for, even at the total exclusion of my own awareness of what that would create so much more in my world, of what would create so much more in my world. The thought I would be able to tough it out and not make the same mistakes as my mum or parents did. In doing so, I ended up picking the same type of man as my dad in many ways and chose to create so much space of hurt for myself, as well as those who really were in their own way trying to tell me not to do it. Unfortunately, they also passed on stubbornness and tenacity. So, Melinda, my dear, when you're looking at your when you are looking at your ideal soulmate, watch for those moments where you might be choosing a similar element to something from your parents. It can come in kind of sneaky ways. So just be mindful of that, and also enjoy the people around you that do make you feel loved, and the animals around you that make you feel loved, and be in your heart space. Okay. I'm also getting that sense of like slight disconnection, which is obviously why I had to read that bit at the bottom too. Like, before you look at your ideal soulmate, companion type person, make sure you're really solidly in your heart space and all of your other spaces, before sitting down with that list. Okay. So, interesting. That's an interesting task for you this week. Enjoy. I hope that resonates. And thank you for coming to play. Joel says, cheers, mate. Been on the road nearly 2 years now. Wow, that's fantastic. Knew there was a reason I saw you live tonight. Thank you. Yay. That's awesome. Well done. Well done for getting out there and having a fabulous time, traveling around this gorgeous, incredible country of ours. Lisa, 38. You're welcome, Melinda. I'm grateful for you too. Lisa, my angel, the little sprite, a ray of sunshine, as bouncy as a ball and caring as a mum. Laughter like butterflies as it rises through the air and sounds like music as it reaches those listening. Lisa, have you lost someone recently, or are you connecting in with the grief of a loss of someone, like somebody who matches that energy? Because that's what I was feeling. It was like, even if it's as a mum and you're now an empty nester, there's some elements of grief that I'm feeling for you. And what was really coming up was, remember the good stuff. Try not to remember too hard or focus too much on the loss of the physical presence in your everyday life. I'm just feeling a lot of heart hurt. And it's like, when it is grief, whether the person has died or moved away, or, if it's kids moved out of home for the first time, and there's that moment of like, oh my God, what do I do? Maybe it's even a loss of a job or a friend. There's something going on there. And yeah, that's interesting. But remember the good stuff. Okay. Oh. Hang on, we're getting info. Okay. Lisa. This is you. Yes, the grief. How often do you tune in to your inner child? I'm hearing not much. So there's two things that's going to crop up for you potentially in the next week or so. I say also because it might be 10 days. One of them, you're going to have an upgrade. I don't know if you've been through spiritual upgrades and stuff before. They can be nice. It can be not so nice. It can be a little bit brutal sometimes. Part of this upgrade is going to require you to connect in with your inner child. You said, yes, job, didn't get the hours last year or this year in the disability unit. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, not enough hours. Oh, that sucks. That absolutely sucks. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's tough. Perhaps, again, this is a challenge for you to have a look at other ways or other places that your talents would be better appreciated. I used to be a disability carer, and I understand how tough it is in that industry. And it takes a special kind of person to work in that industry. So lots of heart stuff, right? So for this upgrade for you that's going to come alongside of your everyday life, there's going to be some work that you're going to have to do with your inner child and reconnecting with her. And yep, energy moving, gotta love it. And with that is with working with your inner child, you're going to find your energy shifts. Okay, and that will then potentially help, and I'm getting a yes, it'll help with the job stuff. Okay. Now, this upgrade, it may come through as a cough, a cold, a flu-y type symptom. It might come through as a shifting of energy through the body. It depends on where it sort of sits on the scale. So I've had upgrades that are no more than a sore throat and a bit of a snotty nose. And it's literally the body upgrading. It's the thymus reactivating. It might be, just literally shifting that old yucky energy out of your body in any way that your body can. So it can come out as snot. It might come out as stuff downstairs. Right through, like that's the least upgrade that I've ever done, like the bio upgrade. The most extreme bio upgrade that I've had is where I've essentially been shifting the energies through my body, and it's like full on, like a cross between a seizure and an orgasm moving down my body. And another one was that's not relevant right now, so I'm not going to talk about that one. So yeah, cool. Just getting over a head cold after the eclipse. There's a lot of people who are experiencing a bio upgrade after that eclipse. A lot of people. And even people who were aware of the energies beforehand started getting a little bit unwell beforehand, like a few days, like 2 to 3 days beforehand. I heard so many people going, oh, I'm feeling like I'm getting a head cold. I've got a bit of a sore throat. I've got this, I've got that. And I'm like going, bio upgrade, anybody? Enjoy. All right. So even people who are not woo-woo, they're upgrading too, you know. And even those who are woo-woo, not always realizing that is. So if and when it happens, and as it is currently happening a little bit, I feel like it's going to get a little bit more. Tune in with your inner child. See what she has to contribute. Okay, so go into that space of meditation. You can even do it with just the tools that we did just before, the expanding out tool, right? And in doing so, your inner child will give you the information that you require to make the upgrade as easy as possible. Okay, she knows. And in doing so, you'll find it a lot easier and you'll be able to move through life with a lot more ease. Okay, because you're not so disconnected. Hope that helps. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I adore this. I adore that. All right, and I've got one more new one. Yay, Marit. It's 13. Thank you for coming to play, Lisa. Hope that really helps you for this week to come. You're welcome. It's one of those funny little bits of information that quite often gets misapplied. So, for example, Louise Hay and stuff like that, they talk about, if you've got sore throats and coughs and things, they talk about like where you're trying to bark at the world. And it's like, no, what if it's not even that? What if it's just literally it's a bio upgrade and nothing more serious than that? There's nothing else to be fixed. It's like, it's just let it process through. Be kind, be gentle, be soft and gentle and nurturing to your body. Let it do what it requires to do. Tap in with your inner self, your inner child, and just let them speak. Throat, speak. Let your inner child speak. Lovely. Marit. This is an interesting one. So, Marit, did you hear my question of what number between and including 1 and 88 is going to be the greatest contribution for this week to come for you? Just wondering. I'm just going to pause and wait while you answer that question and have much more of my cup of tea. Let's see. I know there's a bit of a delay between me asking questions, people hearing them, and then having to write back. All right. I'm not hearing anything. I'm hearing crickets is what I'm hearing. Love it. Go the crickets. That's a weird question. Does anybody know if there is any sports team called the Crickets other than the game of cricket? See, my question was truth. What number between and including 1 and 88 is going to be the greatest contribution to your week to come? And is that number still 13? I'm really looking forward to having a trim. Like, I'm loving my hair. My hair is doing really great things at present, as you can see. Oh, it's looking lovely. Using the flaxseed hair gel that I'm making myself. Great. It hasn't had a haircut. Like, I haven't had any trims, no nothing for a year, and it's just starting to get a little bit of those good old dead ends or split ends just right near the bottom. So I'm looking forward to having a little trim up in a couple of weeks. That'll be nice. And then my comb can go all the way through with a little bit more ease, not so tangly. That'll be nice. Okay, cool. You've confirmed that is indeed the number, so that's good. Us. Can't be lovers, can only be friends. Want to, but the feeling's just not there. Sitting, hurting, feeling foolish, wanting to cry, but can't now. Still want to be there, still want to find out more, still want to be with you, but only as friends. Feeling better, still hurting, thinking better now than later. All right, and I'm going to read the little blurb that sits underneath. For the first time being dumped, living in my first flat, trying to show a very brave face, even though I still cared so much. So for you, Marat, this isn't necessarily about you and your husband, obviously. But this is more to do with a different relationship that you have going on right now, and just loving so much, but knowing that it can't be anything more right now. And at the end, and over that, you're masking all of that hurt, and by trying to put on a brave face every day and that sort of thing. So what I would say for you for this week to come is, if you haven't already, start journaling. Journal. If have you ever done it's called intuitive journaling. So basically, let's see if I can show you. There's some blank pages right at the end. All right. So imagine this is my journal page. And across the top, I would write how I am feeling today, or how I am feeling about my relationship with whoever it is. And then what I would do is I would then just allow my pen to move however it wants to move. It might come out with words, and you write those words like love, hate, angry. And then it might be like you want to go, right? And then you might want to draw a little picture of a person over here. And then over here, you might feel like you're being ripped apart. Your heart's being ripped apart. So you draw a little heart, and then you go, right? Or you might feel like you're being stabbed in the heart. So you go, right? This is intuitive journaling. It's not for anybody else to see. It's not for anybody else to know about as such. This is for you to process your emotions. Okay? And sometimes it'll come out as words. Sometimes it'll come out as scribbles. Sometimes it'll come out something a little bit more formed. And it doesn't matter. The most vital thing is you do this until you feel like that emotional stuff that is brewing in your heart, is messing with your head, is out, and you feel calm. And you suddenly have that moment of just taking a big deep breath, and you just go, okay, I feel all right now. And then you can take that page and you can leave it there where it is, or you can rip it up, or you can burn it, or you can do whatever you like with it. Sometimes it's handy to keep it for a little while so that you can see your progression and how the grief process is working. As you know, I'm sure, there are many stages to grief. And when we are grieving a relationship loss, whether it be with a partner, a romantic partner, a friend, a child, a workmate, a work situation, even moving countries for me, that created a lot of grief in my world. I was excited, but I was equally grieving. And because grief is kind of like a more difficult emotion to work with, because we're not taught how to work with grief. It becomes, we often just stuff it down. We just push it down. No, I don't want to. No. So this is what it is for you this week. Okay, start dealing with some of your grief. Okay, and living in gratitude, as you've just said, is wonderful. That's a fabulous thing to do. However, it does not tackle the grief. And the grief, the anger, the resentment, the rejection, all of those sorts of energies, and I say energies even though they're emotions, they get stuck in our bodies and they can make us very sick. Okay? So, for example, at the start of February, a friend of mine died. And then that grief got locked into my body because I didn't give myself the chance to grieve him properly. Because suddenly I was thrown into a whole bunch of work stuff on the Monday. He passed away on the Sunday, and then it was bam, big work stuff, not just my normal average week. And everything got locked up massively, up in the top part of my neck, into my skull, and down through my left shoulder. Now, if you remember, the left side of our body is our feminine side. The right side is the masculine. And while the masculine side of me was a little sore, but it was more because it was trying to overcompensate for how sore my left-hand side was. And it was that point of like not being able to turn my head properly, and because it was sore, I'd go to turn my head to look when I was driving on an odd corner or something like that, and I'd literally have to turn my entire body because my neck was so sore. I couldn't sleep well. I couldn't find a comfortable spot for my arm. That literally was emotion stuck in my body. And it took several different methods. I went to a massage. I did a couple of physio sessions. I did massaging of myself. I put creams on it. I put tiger balm. I had hot baths. I had hot showers. I had all sorts of things. But realistically, the magic happened when I got some energy healing done. I had my bars run, and I ran someone else's bars. And the person who ran my bars asked me a few questions for processing. And everything was fine after that. The grief moved out of my body. It unlocked my neck. It unlocked my shoulders. By Monday, because I had my bars run on the Friday, by the Monday, I was absolutely shipshape and back to normal. If only I'd thought to do that a bit earlier. But the cool thing about it was that I was reminded of those amazing tools that I have. I did Ina Segal work, clearing work. I did all sorts of stuff. And it was like that last little bit was exact. I drank Tulsi tea. Oh my God, Tulsi and nettle tea till it was coming out my ears. Because I don't take painkillers. I don't do that. Okay. Cool. All right. The grief is hard to overcome. We are many handling it momentarily. Yeah, I know. Grief is hard. Very hard. And it's interesting when you start looking at the darker sides, I say darker, of life and the energies that we have floating around, right? Because when we realize that good old yin and yang symbolism, there's the little bit of light in the dark, and there's that little bit of dark in the light. Because in those darkest moments, there's always some gift in there which will lead you back to the light. And when you're in the light and gratitude and all of that sort of stuff, there's always going to be some little challenge to remind you to stay in the light. Grief can quite often be in the dark part of that symbolism, and we have to make friends with it because it's a part of us. It's a part of how we be. The problem is when we don't make friends with our grief, when we don't make friends with those darker parts of us, we end up locking it up in our bodies, which deforms ourselves, which gives us dis-ease. And this is something that I've been taught from how old was I? Maybe 28, right? And now I'm coming up to 48. So 20 years of being taught that and told that from all sorts of different angles. It's a bit bonkers when I think about it, but there we go. So it's not like it's a new concept. And I'm grateful to all the people who have shown me that it's important to embrace. And the books that I have read over the years, even, romantasy books, they are, there's Akota, the Akota books, the A Crown of Thorn and Roses, that series, fabulous for encouraging us to actually embrace the darkest, most hidden parts of ourselves, which often include anger, sadness, and a lot of grief. It's not so much about judgment. It's not so much about judgment. It's more about those places and spaces where we feel ultimately incredibly vulnerable. So yes. All right, my loves. Let us do a meditation, hey? Thank you, book. If you'd like a copy of my book, it is available on Amazon. Or you can get in touch with me personally, and I have a few here. And then I can sign it for you and stuff. If that is what you would like to do. All right. That's a funny page now. So, see, when I look at this page now, and I see all this scribble, and I see these words and stuff, and I just go, I love you. I love all of you. Joel over in YouTube land has said, my saying since meeting my lady, we are exactly where we are supposed to be at this moment in time. I wish I'd believed that when I was told by good friends years ago. Exactly right. It's called divine timing. We are where we are, where we're meant to be, where we're meant to be. And sometimes that's really difficult to comprehend when that place is dark. where that place is uncomfortable, where we are living with uncertainty, and you're in high survival mode and everything feels horrible. It's hard to comprehend that it's going to get better. And sometimes just that a little moment of kindness can really shift that feeling of darkness. Again, it's that little moment of kindness, that little bright spark in that moment of dark that helps to remind you that there's something is good out there and that you're deserving of it too. I find the most compassionate people in the world are not the ones who have lived in the lap of luxury and never had a problem to deal with. They are the people who have been to the depths of hell and back, mentally, emotionally, physically. They are the people who have worked fucking hard their entire lives and are still so kind to those around them. There are those who have lost their way for a period of time and then kind of gone, you know what? I'm done with that now. And they're still very kind, even when they've lost their way. And they're willing to help others find their way. The ones who have lost their way and come back to center are the ones that quite often will go, actually, I'd really like to help other people find their way now. And that's the concept of the wounded healer. It's not about degrees on the wall. It's about experience. And it's the experiences that we have that help us to help others, that give us the moment of being genuinely authentic and being able to contribute to others, to make them feel a little bit like, oh, yay. It's even little things like when I go to the supermarket and I get served by a real person and not a machine. And I say to them, thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure to be served by a real person today. And you can see them kind of have that moment of going, huh? And then, oh, yay, cool, thanks. Because they don't realize how valuable that is. I do. Because I used to be a checkout chick. So keep being wonderful to each other, okay? All right. As we've been monologuing, I guess, the information for the meditation has come through. So what I would like to invite you to is there's a little bit of the reading that was for the collectives today and a little bit of inner child work that we're going to do. Okay. I never go too terribly deep on these meditations. You can absolutely listen to them again in your own time and go deeper with them. This one, it's going to be a nice, yummy one, I feel. All right. So taking another nice big deep breath in, close your eyes. Just going to turn that off. Beautiful. Keep breathing nice and deeply into your belly. Imagine your breath going all the way down past your toes. And breathing out And we're going to head up to Theta today. Theta plane is the 7th plane of existence. It's where instantaneous healing is absolutely possible if you allow it. It's also where you're completely, totally and utterly surrounded by unconditional love. So you're infinitely supported in the healing that you do. So now imagine that there is a bright white opalescent light shining into your heart, moving down your body, down your legs, through your feet, down into the center of Mother Earth, curling around the center of Mother Earth, and then moving all the way back up through all the crystalline layers, gathering any energies required for you, moving up through your feet, through your legs, through your torso, all the way up through the crown, creating a big bubble above your head. And now you imagine you're inside that bubble. And now the bubble floats up higher and higher. It floats up through the golden light and through the rainbow jelly light clouds. It floats up through the pink misty clouds. And you see a big, big opening and these bright white opalescent lights streaming out of it. Move through that opening until you're completely surrounded by the bright white opalescent light. It might feel like you're standing underneath the sun, and the sun's warm rays of unconditional love is shining down all over you. Take a big deep breath in. And out. And as you breathe out, the bubble around you dissolves. Taking another big deep breath in, and this time the unconditional love, the energy of unconditional love is now going to move into your body through your breath. And as you breathe out, any energies that are already ready to leave, any stress, any strain, anybody else's energy that has attached to you can now leave. It's released from your body. Just take a few more nice, big, deep breaths and let anybody else's stuff that's not yours leave, whether it goes up to Creator to be cleansed and cleared, or it goes back to the person with consciousness attached. Whatever it is, wherever it requires to go, it will go now. Beautiful. So that what you are now being and now doing is just you. There's just you here. You're free of other people's stuff, other people's projections and expectations of you. Free of other people's judgments of you. It's just you, your beautiful self, here right now, infinitely supported by unconditional love. And the unconditional love has no viewpoint or judgment about what you've done in your past or what you will do in your future. It is just present with you right now to love and support you in what you are asking to do today. Okay. Now I'd like you to imagine a really big, beautiful oak tree. And this oak tree is massive, and it's lush, and it's green. And it's at the point where it might have little acorns on it. And the branches stretch over a really, really long way, and they're strong. And they make perfect branches for attaching a swing, a rope swing, with a wooden board as the seat,
And now imagine that that rope swing is big enough for 2 people, an adult and a child. And as you're looking at this rope swing, there's a cheeky little head that pops out from behind the trunk of the tree. And that cheeky little head is attached to the younger version of you. They're likely to be around 7 or 8, maybe even a little younger. However old they are is perfect for you. And as you see them, you smile. And as you smile and you see them and you see their cheekiness, and then you see their childlike wonder as they pick up an acorn off the ground and bring it over to you to show you. And then they find another one and it's a slightly different color. One's green and one's brown. And they show you. And you look at it and you crouch down and you enjoy the moment of wonder of looking at all the textures of those acorns, the smooth part of the nut and the rough part of the texture and of the cup, the rough texture of the cup. And you can see where it was attached to the tree. And as you look at the acorns, you see that inner child, the little version of you, being so excited about the acorns and the big tree, the big leaves, and the wonderful amount of shade that it gives. And all of the worries and the woes of your adult life melt away into the distance. The work, the taxes, the government, the shopping, the bills, it all just melts away into the distance as you are fully, totally present with your inner child. You look over at the swing and you ask the child, "Would you like to swing with me?" And your inner child excitedly says, "Yes!" And then races up to the swing and goes, "Me first." But when they try to hop on the swing, they realize it's too big. It's too wide for just them, their little arms. And they have that moment of confusion. Why can't it be for just me? And this is where you get to show them the wondrous thing of working together. Because the swing is big enough for you as an adult to hold both sides of. But your inner child requires your support. And with the inner child with you, you get the enthusiasm and the excitement of being on a big swing together. And they get to hold on to one side and then they get to hold on to you and try and stretch their little arm all the way across to reach the other string or the other rope, and they just can't quite get there. So they've got to hold on to you tight. And so you're on the swing, and you're moving backwards and forwards, and you're showing them how to move their legs so that they can swing higher and higher. And as you do so, you notice that the tree is moving slightly with every swing of the swing. The leaves on the trees are rustling just a little bit because this branch is good and strong. And with the child's arm around you, around your waist, you begin to feel their magic penetrating your body. You feel the sparkles moving up through your ribs, and it tickles and it makes you laugh. You feel the sparkles as they move around to your heart space. And as it hits the heart space, you can perceive the magical way that the childlike version of yourself sees the world. See how the colors are so much more vibrant. You might even be able to spot the odd fairy or nymph with the addition or the remembering of childlike wonder. And the child version of you feels the strength and the support of you, which then gives them the confidence to try even bigger things. And they want to stand up now on the swing. And there's that little part of you that goes, oh no, and then you relax. And so you allow the child to stand up. And now their arm is around your shoulders. And you're still supporting them so beautifully. You might not be swinging quite as high, but you're still supporting them. And because they are so excited and so thrilled, that magic flows through their arm, across your shoulders, melting away all those spaces of obligation, of contractedness from your muscles, of your shoulders and your neck. Everywhere you've been a little bit too much of a grown-up and not enough play. All of that lovely energy is moving through your shoulders now, joining up with your chest and your heart space, moving down through your belly. And now, because your inner self is feeling incredibly empowered and like it can do anything in the world because they have your support and your love and your kindness and your wisdom, they sprout wings, big, beautiful wings, and they start to fly. And the reason why they sprouted wings was because they just thought of it. They imagined having wings and how much more amazing it would be to have wings and be able to fly to the very top of the oak tree and look down and see everything from up there. And so they do. And you in your adult body swings gently on the swing until it stops, and then you hop up and move out from underneath the big oak tree. And you see your inner child up there with their wings. And they say, come on, come. And you think to yourself, but I can't. I'm an adult. Adults can't fly. And the child swoops down and around you over and over again and says, yes, you can, because you are me and I am you. And with that, the child gently presses their nose to your forehead. And it's like it unlocks something in your mind. And instantly, you have wings. And now you get to fly and fly around that big, huge oak tree that would take so many people holding hands to be able to even go around the trunk. And you go right up to the top with your inner child, and you float and you do acrobatics and you just have the bestest time. And you can see the leaves at the top of the tree that you never thought anybody could see. And you just enjoy the moment, this moment of absolute freedom. And your inner child says to you, what do you truly wish to have? What do you desire? What do you deserve? What do you desire? What fun can we have? And in this moment, the words to these questions, the answers to these questions will be coming to you. What grand ideas, what adventures would you like to have now? What would bring you the most peace, ease, and joyfulness into your world? That, whatever that is for you, hold that energy close to your heart now. And now allow that energy to move out through every cell and molecule of your body, out through to the very tips of your wings. And delight in the feeling of your desires. Delight in the feeling of your joyfulness. Delight in the feeling of knowing that success is on its way to you. That the lightness and the brightness is on its way to you. Beautiful. And now we float down to the base of that oak tree. And the oak tree starts to fade away. And we're so grateful for the oak tree and the gift that it's been for us today. As little you and big you stand there watching the oak tree. You wave, bye, bye oak tree, bye swing, bye acorns, bye leaves. Bye. And as you look into the eyes of your younger self, you say, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for reminding me of the joyfulness it is to be me. Thank you for reminding me that this world is a glorious place to live in. And thank you for reminding me how fun it is to have these bodies. And as you bring that child in, the inner child in for a big, big hug, and your wings wrap around each other, and you feel completely encapsulated, your inner child integrates back into your heart space. And your wings shimmer, beautiful opalescent shimmer, a little bit of rainbow. And now your wings become translucent. And now it is just you. You feel lighter now. You feel more clear about what your desires are and how you're going to move through this next period of time with more ease, more joyfulness, and in whatever other magical ways that you and your inner child discussed. Take another big, deep breath in and out. And now moving down through that big opening, through the pink misty clouds, through the rainbow jelly light clouds, all the way back through to your body, where everything that just happened is completely integrated. Now imagine that you're standing underneath a big, huge crystalline waterfall, and the water is flowing over and through your body, just washing away any other little fragments of energy. And now stepping out onto the big, warm river rock. You feel Mother Earth underneath your feet. Taking a big, big, deep breath in. And breathing out. And this time as you breathe in, bring Mother Earth energy all the way up through your body. And just notice how different your body feels now. And as you breathe out, bringing Father Sky energy all the way down. Feel how different it is to receive Father Sky energy. And now as you breathe in, bring Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up. And now breathing out, bringing Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Give yourself a nice big hug and open your eyes. Beautiful. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Please have some water now, and you might want to put a little bit of salt into the water. I recommend roughly 1/8 to 1/4 teaspoon into a litre of water, roughly. So in a glass, it's roughly a pinch of water, that of salt into the water. And that just helps your brain. It helps your brain to process, especially with energetic healing, which is what you've just done. And the body uses a lot of salt and water when we do energetic healing. Okay, so just something to be aware of. That's why when we're doing studies and things like that, we tend to lean towards the salty snacks. It's our body's asking for water and salt. Who would have thunk it? So I hope you all have an amazing week. I would highly recommend you get out a pen and paper right now or put it into your phone, whatever it was that your inner child, that information that your inner child helped you to uncover about what are your desires. What is it that will make you feel just so joyfully happy? Write that down. Okay? So get out there. Do something fun for yourself. Do something tasty over this weekend. I don't really mind what it is, as long as you're doing something fun and tasty for you. And until next week, be bold, be brave, and be you, my beautiful friends. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.